Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to premarketinfo.com, where we try and prepare you for the most important hour of the day. The first hour, Dennis, but maybe the first hour is from 4:30 to 5:30 is the most important hour. That's when we made the high.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's overnight when everybody's sleeping. This is always when we have the big moves. It seems to be the same story every day. When we do have a big move, that's always made overnight. Down $26 here. This is just a disaster for the stocks. I got stocks, basically everything's a mover today, Joel.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of the S&Ps here. 1274 high, right in between the close and yesterday's high. We broke down through just about every number conceivable here. I actually have posted some new numbers on the site for you folks that are looking for a total meltdown today. But right now you gotta give some credence here to the 1240 and a quarter, which stands as a blowback slow. Below that level, folks, we have some spotty intraday lows and also some daily lows, going from 1236.50 down to 1230.50. But I'd use that 1230.50 as a real major level for today. If we can't hold that, I'd be looking for a breakdown to the weekly low at 1208.50. But that's a long way to go, folks. I don't think they're going to take this market down 400 or 500 today. There's too much money in running it up and down during the day. Moving on to Apple, we did get a nice breakout over that 403.50 area, Dennis, and got up to 407.12, and now we're below yesterday's low at 401.56. Only got my numbers down to 396.13, which was Monday's low. But let's keep an eye on that weekly low as well, down at low 393s.
Yeah, 391 too. That was a number that came into play a while ago. But this stock was looking good, just like we were saying yesterday. Apple's gearing for a breakout. We kind of had it, but we've kind of been stalled here by this 28-point sell-off now. So maybe this is a chance to get it on the pullback back to this 400 area. I'm not sure. We're trading 399, but when the market's at falling 28 points a day, obviously risk is up. So so it's something interesting to think about whether or not Apple's going to hold here or not.
Okay, ExxonMobil had a strong day as well. Taking they're going big X dividend. So the dividend players, they took it in and were able to sell it at a profit during the day session. Closed right near the high, but we're $1.71 away from that. So let's keep an eye on Thursdays and Fridays lows at 77.38 to 44. Should get a nice bounce off there. If not, we'll be looking out for the weekly low at 75.45. Coming back on the upside, you may get a chance to, short this stock or take off some longs at Tuesday's low at 78.63. Good number there.
Yeah. For you guys who did trade off that $80 level, it got up to 79.88. Not quite up, into the 90s, but 79.88. So if you're able to get a short off up there near yesterday's, close or yesterday's high, good for you because you're going to be rewarded immediately here this morning. $80 remains huge resistance on this. Probably doesn't come into play today. Looking for support. Man, Joel, like we're breaking down, there isn't really that much in, I don't see a hell of a lot until, a major support until that 75 area, but that's $3 away, so.
What about, Thursday and Friday's lows there, 77.38.44.
I think those are good spots to cover. I think, we look at those areas and, obviously while you were handed 2 points here on a stock on ExxonMobil, that's a pretty good move too. So if you did get short the thing, I think those are good areas to cover. I don't know if I'd initiate longs from there though.
Okay, IBM refused to participate in the rally yesterday, another stock that went ex-dividend, but did rally back up to that 187.88 level. We'd been looking at 188. There was some size in the book there. Couldn't get through it. Now we're 3 stakes lower, 184.30. We did have a double bottom of 184.74, so any pop up to the 184.74, 185 level be a good place to try and squeeze out get out of some longs. Coming on the downside, I really don't see much. Little support at 183.03, but the weekly low at 180.74 is a good number.
Yeah, I messed this one up too, Joe. I got short at 187.85 yesterday. It started pulling back a bit, but then it was hanging out, and then Apple was moving up, and Google was moving up, and I was like, man, you just got to think this IBM's going to eventually start moving up too with those other big techies moving up. So I covered for a small 20-cent profit. I held it for about half an hour, and it just wasn't, I just kept thinking it's going to end up starting to rally here. Obviously was wrong with that. I should have just held my initial short position, and if I would have held it overnight here, I'd been rewarded with things trading at 184.30. So my bad. Hopefully, if you guys did get short off that 188 number that we talked about, hopefully you held better than I did.
Yeah, what, you couldn't take the heat? You shorted it at 85 and went to 88?
I didn't even take any heat. I don't think I was ever down in the trade, Joel. I just didn't want to give back the little 25-cent gainer I had when Apple and, looking at other stocks, sometimes you just got to close your eyes and just hold on because, it didn't, like you said, it didn't rally with the other tech stocks. And, if I would have held, I would have been rewarded.
Well, you know what they say about your Uncle Bill?
What's that?
If your Uncle Bill had tits, he'd be your Aunt Jane.
No, sure enough.
Okay. Microsoft tried to sneak up to that 27.50 level, rejected at 27.20, also closed near the high. Currently trading right on Tuesday's low here, so folks that are inclined to try a long off the open, you could try it there. You don't have a whole lot of cover down below that, so I'd look for a quick exit. Or if folks are just dying to short something, going through the previous day's low, this is one of the stocks that will give you an opportunity to do that. Looking at 26 is a real good number. We had lows there on Friday, Thursday and Friday, and Monday's low was just above that.
Again, we talked about this. Yeah, we talked about this 27, area. It's broke out above that. 27.40 was where, I was itching to get short. Didn't quite get that far, so if you were a little aggressive, you probably did get off a good short. 27.20 being the high yesterday. Pulling back here, I may cover shorts if I was short, but I really like that 26 area. That's 60 cents away, so I think I'd sit on my hands if I was trying to buy it until at least the 26 area, Joel.
Okay, Chevron Corporation tried to sneak up to that 110 level yesterday, got turned back at 109, closing right up there at 108.86. Now we're down $2.61. Tuesday's low is going to come into play here, folks, 106.50. We might sneak up there and try and fill the gap. If not, Monday's low at 105.43 could be a stopping point to cover some shorts, but the old double bottom at 104.48, 104.70 looks like a better level.
Yeah, if you were a little aggressive again. We figured we'd run into trouble in the 108s and 109s. Obviously immediate trouble. So if you got short again yesterday, congratulations on 108 and the 108s there because you're going to be rewarded once again. Maybe 105. I know you. What was the number you said out there, Joel? 104.
105.43 was Monday's low, and 104.48 was Friday's low. So
yeah, okay, in the middle of that, like I'm looking at the chart, it's a psychological 105. So maybe you could call that whole area 105, but that would be maybe the first stopping point. But again, I don't know if I'd be a buyer here or not, just because there's a lot of unknowns. You got Italy all of a sudden. I think we knew Italy was going to start to have problems. So I don't know if it's all of a sudden, but the problems are escalating over there. So that makes it kind of scary to be buying when you're not on a major support area.
Okay, J&J busted through all those highs at 64.45 to 50. Got a sniff of the $65 level. Closed right there, 64.86, and now we're right back down at yesterday's low, which was also Monday's close. Real good support here, 63.95 to 64. For those of you who took it home short overnight, I'd be looking to cover in that area. And if you're looking for a defensive stock to get long off the open, I like this $64 area.
Well, this is one I actually did get rewarded with, Joel, because I did take it home off that area short overnight. So I'll limit my comments on where I think it's going because I'm still short the thing, but hopefully lower for me. Okay.
Procter & Gamble, we really talked about that level yesterday. The 4 out of 5 highs at the 63.50 level. We busted out of there, got a nice run up to 64.34. Really didn't have much there. Closed right up at that area, 64.21. Now we're crashing back down at 63.60. So once again, you're going to get a play off Tuesday's low here at 63.48, 63.50. Below that, things really open up down to Monday's low, 62.63. So if you're going to try a long there in the 63.50, 48 level, use a tight stop there. If you do get a nice short off through that area, you could have a good ride down at least to 63 or perhaps 62, 69.
Yeah, and if it really went to sell-off mode, like you said, 62, 69, 62.50 too, Joe, was Wednesday. There was a double bottom on Wednesday and Friday, kind of bottomed down there too. I know that's still a buck away from here, but I think you'd get really good support if you go down to 62.5. So I'm sitting on my hands and tuck. It's down to that area for myself.
Okay, GE looks poised here to test that $16 level we talked about after being in the middle of the range up at the middle of the 16 to 17 range, making a high at 49 yesterday with a 48 close. We're crashing down here very close to Monday's low. Use that as your swing number. Below that, 16, Dennis likes to talk about it, 1597 was the weekly low. Below that, let's look for 1576, which was the low back on October 10th.
Yeah, I'll call it all $16, and I think you definitely will. That's where we get our initial support. Whether we can start taking out that 1597 area, that'll be the tell, but maybe an idea to try along off that 16, but use a tight stop. 16.5 is huge on this too. I even see size up there now, but that's probably not going to come into play today.
Okay, Coca-Cola, just like its brethren here, tried to rally up into major resistance, stopped just short, couldn't even get to the 4-day high at 68.82, got to 68.72 with a 65 close. Currently we are trading right on Tuesday's low, so look for support in that stock at that area. Below that, we have a double bottom at 67.28 to 35.
Yeah, 60, where it's trading right now, 67.75. I'm looking at, there's this little trend here, sometimes, like I look at support, resistance, and trends. That's kind of my technical analysis. And I could argue over the last month looking at there's this little uptrend starting to form. 67.75 would be to the bottom of that uptrend. So if it can continue to hold that area, then the trend is still intact. If it starts to break down through like 67.5, then I'd argue maybe that trend's broken. So you could try along here. A little scary. It's a little bit above fair value. I have to see, we're an hour away from the open. See where this one opens, but just be aware there is a trend there.
Okay, folks, just for a recap, S&P's hovering above the 1240 and a quarter level. The glow back slow. Let's keep an eye on that. Below that, we could get a test of that critical support. It was actually Thursday's intraday low at 1230.50. Need to get above the 1257 area to turn this thing around. Still 14 points away from that. So anything can happen in this market. But we're going to take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with our market movers.